welcome. Heart-Shaped HR Jobseeker Edition featuring Kisha Velazquez. I am so excited to have you on here. One of the coolest things about LinkedIn is these relationships that you develop. You know, it starts out as a, hey, let's have a chat. Hey, let's have a coffee. You know, these little discovery calls, and then bam, we've got Kisha and Kate. And it's amazing the things that transpire, through such an awesome platform. Big fan of LinkedIn.
Yeah.
So, Kisha, long time coming, getting you on here and having a chat with you about all the amazingness that is you. So I want to start with a little intro. What you're looking to get out of this, and marketing is your big thing, and you are a huge advocate of DEI. So I just love that you're combining all of that in this space and willing to talk to us today about it.
Yeah, I'm so excited to be here, Kate. I feel like it's a long time coming, so it's just awesome to be sitting here with you and talking about this.
Very cool. Very cool. So I have a couple questions for you.
Okay.
And just so you know, in the audience, if you choose to hop on here with me ever, I will give you the questions ahead of time so that you can, hash out and be a little bit prepared. Sometimes having those questions fly at you, you're like, whoa, wasn't ready for that one, Kate. So, Kisha, number one, throughout your life, what accomplishments or awards stand out the most and why?
Yeah, so definitely the biggest accomplishment was starting and running a business for about 6 years. I started out in marketing, not really even knowing that I was a marketer, but I started a business, and it was a small business when I had my son, who was like 3 months years old, and I was home with him. So I was like sewing little hats for him and putting them on him. And then I ended up posting it on social, and it turned into this business that I never thought I would have. And it was a 6-year venture, and it was amazing because the thing that it taught me is 3 things. So it taught me how to promote myself and my product. It taught me the power of network, and it taught me how to persevere and pivot. So just to give an example, like the first thing I had to learn while running a business is tightening up my elevator pitch. So elevator pitches like scared the crap out of me, but I would go to all these networking events, and one was a training session where literally there was a line of entrepreneurs, and you had to stand in front of each one, shake their hand, and give them your elevator pitch. So it was like maybe 20 people or 30 people on the line. And by the end of the line, I had given my elevator pitch so many times, and each time I gave it, everybody gave me like a little bit of notes of like, okay, I like this part, or this part is clear, or this part is catchy. This part really like resonates with me. So just being able to do something as simple as tighten up your pitch helps you sum up the value of your product or your service. It helps you understand how you're bringing transformation into your customers' lives. And it helps you understand like what exactly is the thing that makes your product special. So definitely running a business was one of my biggest accomplishments.
That is wonderful. And I agree with you. And what a gift, that feedback, lining up like that and getting feedback back to back like that, and being able to make up, like you said, pivoting on your next one. You're already implementing that change that you just heard from the previous one, and you're just making it happen that quick. That's something. That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah, and it shows the power of like a feedback loop, right? Too, like, getting constant feedback from customers, from business advisors, from friends, family, like, always just have an open mind and take that advice. You can implement some, you could keep some, or toss out what you don't want to do. So yeah.
Absolutely. I love it. Okay. So I'm going to move on to question number 2.
Yeah.
What do you wish to change about Force of America?
Yes. The thing that I want to see change in America is the understanding in corporations and small businesses, startups alike, is that diversity is a business imperative. And the reason why is because without having different perspectives, there could be no room for change for the better or innovation. So like, if you're in a meeting where everybody is thinking the same, there's never any time where you're going to be challenged with your ideas. You're going to have groupthink, and the more diverse perspectives that you have, the better solutions that you're going to get. So that is the one thing I definitely want to see change in the workforce of America, not just the presence of diversity, but the idea that you're valuing diverse opinions.
I I love that. I saw a post on LinkedIn recently. It said something about take a look around. If you are surrounded by people who look like you and talk like you and think like you have to realize that that's a problem.
Yeah.
And that complacency of, oh yeah, this looks good. Yeah, this is a great group of what? All, like you said, group think, similar minded, like you have to stretch and grow. And
Right.
those are the companies that we want to be a part of these
Yeah.
days,
And those
that you have
companies,
that mindset and that agility and that you're
yes.
thinking outside of the box. Please, folks, tune in. Listen to your job seekers. Seriously, you have to know how to pivot and make your company more appealing just by listening to things like this. So crucial.
Definitely, 100%.
Okay. Number 3. How has the pandemic shaped your career preferences?
So it helped me understand how remote work can help companies diversify their workplace. So
Yes.
I myself started my marketing career like right before the pandemic. My first job, I knew I wanted it to be 100% remote. That was
Mhm.
another, underlying reason why I wanted to kind of like pivot to digital marketing, content marketing, because I knew that I could work from home and it would give me an opportunity to have that work and life balance.
Yes.
And before the pandemic, finding decent remote jobs that, weren't just like, customer service or whatever jobs was pretty difficult. Like,
Yes.
but then during the pandemic, because companies were forced to figure out how can we keep our company running and support our business during shutdowns, they had to figure out remote work. And now it's, 2 years later, it's totally commonplace. And not only that, it's preferred, and companies see how it actually benefits their company to have a remote workforce or optimize for a remote workforce. So, the fact that you can have remote work helps companies diversify the workplace a lot easier, because you can hire people in rural areas. You can hire people outside of your immediate like location.
Right.
You can
Right.
hire caretakers, people who are young parents who are ready to work and they're so talented. They want to return to the workforce, but they just need that flexibility to
Right.
maintain their job and do what they are paid to do. And you can also hire people in neurodiverse populations, people who might have mental disabilities or people who might have like ADD. They might work better in remote environments instead of working in an open office that looks cool like a WeWork space. That might not be good for them if they're creative or they need to focus. So, but having remote work just gives so much flexibility and opportunity to underrepresented people. And also it helps companies diversify very easily. Like, I'll give another example. When I did my first marketing job, but I was in-house marketer, I was actually the first Black employee that this company hired. And I almost didn't apply because when I looked on their website, which is something I'm sure all job seekers do, the first thing they do is they want to check out the website and you want to see pictures of the team and you want to get an idea, especially as an underrepresented person. Like, I wanted to see, what does the team look like? Is there diversity? The first thing I saw was all white faces. It was kind of like freaked me out and I didn't want to apply. But I was like, I really liked the company and the
Yep.
mission. And I was like, I'm going to just go for it. I don't even know if I'm going to get a call back, because when you see that as an underrepresented candidate, you're like, is that a signal that they don't want to hire diversity? You don't know. So I just went ahead and applied, and it was the best decision I ever made. And then later on, like fast forward 3 months into my job, my CEO asked me during a sales meeting, like unprompted, like, how do we get more Black people? How do we get more diversity on our team? And I was like, whoa, I don't know. But I joked saying, when I first applied to your role and I saw your website and I saw in the hero section, there was all these white people. It freaked me out and I didn't apply. So I was like, why don't you put my face in the hero section? And he was like,
Right.
okay, can we? And I was like, sure. And he did. And sure enough, like a few months later, we hired so many more diverse candidates and we diversified our team quickly. But I also like understood, because that company was based in Utah and they were hiring before the pandemic, mostly in the local area, right? Like when you
Yes.
have a traditional corporate
Yes.
office,
Yeah.
you're hiring people who could commute to work every day, right? But that works before the pandemic. But after the pandemic,
Not anymore.
they were hiring remotely, and it opened up the door for people all over the country to apply. And that was great because when I thought about the clients and the market, they were appealing to business owners from all over the country.
Right.
So, what happens when you have a team that doesn't represent your core market? Like, having that diversity on the team definitely helps them come up with like richer solutions and how they can serve different diverse markets. So yeah, I just wanted to share that story.
I love that. And I think that if you are a company listening right now, this is valuable information, valuable job seeker information. And if you have not made that change within your company, if you're looking through your website and your content and you're not seeing a diversified front, obviously you're not appealing to everyone. And you may have a remote position or whatever listed, but you're not backing up what you're saying. And people see that. People do their due diligence when they're applying. You have to be in line with everything that you're saying and doing. Talk is cheap.
Right.
Right?
So true.
Okay. Moving on. What's your work style?
So definitely I'm more of a project-based or goal-oriented kind of worker. So the reason I say that is because whenever I'm working with like a founder or CEO or like VP, the first thing I ask them to do is tell me like what their problem is that they're trying to solve, or tell me their goal. And the reason why is because I want to make sure I have them clarify their goals so I can give them, and identify the right problem so I can prescribe the right solution, right? So sometimes I ask founders, instead of giving me a task, like I want you to do this, I want to, reset the conversation to what's going on? Like, what do you want to see change? What do you want to see better or less of or more of? And I ask them to be a little bit more open-minded in how they approach me with their problem, instead of having an idea in mind of what the solution is, because I could bring experience and a perspective that's different from them as an outsider. So they might already think they know what the solution is, and their solution actually might be the right solution. But I want to just always like back up a little and be like, what exactly are we trying to address here? What's the problem? So I can make sure it's the right solution, because sometimes the problem they think that is causing, negative effects of their business might not be the real problem. Like maybe you think that, there's something wrong with your product, but maybe it's your customer service. Like maybe there's certain touch points that have too much friction and you're not getting as many sales or many conversions as you want. So I would definitely say I'm more of like a goal-oriented or project-based kind of person.
I hear super sleuth. And your sleuthing skills, seriously, if you don't ask the right questions, you don't get to the root of the problem. And I think that your sleuthing skills are entrepreneurial. They are showing that. So throw that into your work style mix too, because for sure. And I just saw something else, a post on LinkedIn that talked about how entrepreneurs are looking for the problem. That's how they stay agile, and they're whatever the current problem is in the workforce or in wherever, and then they shape their business around that, or they shape their whatever. That digging is a tremendous
and that's how you provide value and transformation to your customers, right? Like if you're not solving their problems, you don't have a business. What are you doing? Are you just making cool things to make cool things? Or are you trying to have a lucrative business with, bringing constant value to your customers? And what they value today, they might not value tomorrow. Like you have to keep a pulse in that and understand what they need.
And feeling heard. You're addressing that need to feel heard. And that is so important too.
Right.
Okay. So I'm going to move on to my fifth and final. Which of your past jobs or life experiences taught you the most, and what specifically did you learn?
Yeah, so I mean, I definitely learned a lot as a business owner, but I probably learned the most working as, an in-house marketer or working with a marketing team. The reason why is because I realized that for a lot of small businesses and entrepreneurs and startups, you can have a great product, you could have a great service, you could have a great team, but the key to having like a really successful business is having a great culture. And that's because a lot of the problems and breakdowns that you can have in delivering value to your customers, they could be people problems. It's not because, your product's not good. It's not because your team's not competent. It's because there's like just basic breakdowns in communication and assumptions and feelings and cultural differences and friction. So if you can foster a culture that has trust and transparency, if you can, as a leader, encourage curiosity, empathy, innovation, you're gonna give your team the autonomy they need to create shared goals and to win. And everybody's gonna feel that sense of ownership and excitement for what they do every single day. And that's gonna make your business outperform other businesses. So that's how you get the most value from your team, is having a great culture.
If you are looking to hire, you'd be a fool not to have tuned into that portion right there, nail on the head. Literally, huge buzzword, culture. People want to know about your culture. They want to know about your leadership style. They want to know all of these things before they get too far in, and then they're trapped in a job where it's like, oh, this is not at all what I thought this was going to be.
Yes.
The market right now is it's so different. It's like nothing we've ever seen before. So if you as a company aren't getting ahead of it and saying, okay, I know that the Kishas of the world who have all these skills and I need her on my team, I need to make sure as a company, the script is kind of flipped here. I need to make sure as a company that I have all these things, that I have answered all of these needs so that I am attracting the Kishas of the world. Otherwise, I'm just like every other company who hasn't made the appropriate changes, and I don't stand out.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's so key to your employer brand, this idea that, instead of you having to recruit people actively, people want to work for your company because it has a good reputation, just like how you want your brand for your product, your service to have a great rep where customers come to you because, oh, that's Nike, that's going to be quality. It's the same thing for your company. Like, this is X company. I know it's going to be a great place to work. I want to apply. You're going to attract top talent that way.
Right. And we, in a previous conversation, we even talked about this, how you have seen companies that you're like, oh, wow, I need to work for them. What they're doing is amazing, right?
Yeah, I've been looking at different companies right now. And that's for me, like my biggest career factor right now is like having a great culture.
Yep. I love it. I love the goals. I love the things that you're looking for. I think that if, companies need to really take some good notes on making sure that those things are in alignment with their companies, and that at this point, that gap that we're seeing where, oh, we can't find the right people. We're trying to hire like crazy. Really? Because if you look on LinkedIn and you look anywhere else, people are trying to find these jobs where somewhere in the middle there, something's falling short.
Yeah.
So maybe instead of, we've got a plethora of job seekers, it's time for these companies to start looking at what they're doing and how they're attracting people, make some changes.
Right.
And do the things that it takes to bring on the right team members and to attract these people. So
yeah, 100%.
Oh, Kisha, what a pleasure. I could talk to you for hours. I really could. I mean, and folks, I can attest to the fact that surely Kisha would be a phenomenal asset to any team. She is so driven and just such a great resource. I mean, you heard today just her sleuthing skills, her entrepreneurial skills. There's so much there to unpack. I just think you're going places, sister. I am super excited to have talked to you because I'm really in amazement by everything that you do. I love it.
Thank you so much, Kate.
Yes, absolutely. I appreciate your time today. I truly do.
This is so fun. It's so fun to sit and chat with you. Yeah, I'm just excited, and for everything that you're doing for candidates, for employers, for trying to find like the right, talent. I think it's incredible what you're doing.
Thank you. I appreciate that greatly. Yeah. So if you're interested and you think Heart-Shaped HR is a fit for you, if you are one of those companies who's trying to make those changes, let's talk and let's make some changes to what you're doing. Let's get an interview going like this. Let's do some digital virtual visibility. Let's change a little bit about what you're doing. Let's tweak some things and And on the other side, if you're a job seeker and you want to be in the hot seat like Kisha, let's help get your name out there and really shine a light on just how awesome you are. Because, a resume only takes you so far. And a LinkedIn profile, again, is just something to read unless you're getting on there and you're posting some videos and stuff. But being able to see inside and have this light shined on your personality today, I just think was really cool. So
yeah, I mean, and what's what we talked about before. It's like people hire people, not paper. So not like a resume. So like,
yes.
making that human connection so much
Absolutely.
easier with a quick video, whether you're like an employer and put a video on your job application webpage, or if you're a candidate and you're a job seeker, like just a quick video, it shows so much about you. So
right. Okay, well, we will keep you updated with Kisha's process, and we'll keep you posted with our next job seeker or whichever company we're highlighting next here on Heart Shaped HR. Thank you so much for tuning in. You can see our videos on TikTok, on YouTube, available audio only on Spotify, and obviously on LinkedIn as well. So thanks for tuning in. Have an awesome day, and we will see you again very soon.
thanks, Kate.
Thank you.